Blessed love and blessed day, oh boxing world, boxing nation, fighting world, fighting nation. It's Coach Fire and this is real life boxing, man. Subject matter: Terence Bud Crawford says there is no sides of the street. There's only one street, and it's boxing. Before we get into it, I'm going to ask you guys to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified when new content is being uploaded, and you can be notified when we are going live. We're just waiting for some people to enter the stream. I know I did not put up a community post saying that there was going to be a live stream, but I felt like going live, so here we are. Water. And I definitely want to talk about Terence Bud Crawford and the street situation. But anyway, let's get into it. As you guys come into the stream, make sure you smash the like button and hit the subscribe button. Terence Crawford says he did an interview the other night. It was actually on the fight on the Zone, the cross promotional fight between Maurice Hooker and Jose Ramirez. It's kind of windy. Just started raining real hard, which is really good because it was hot as hell out. Anyway, they had Terence Crawford on the Zone because it was a cross-promotional event with the Zone and ESPN Top Rank. So they did a feature on Terence Crawford, and the interviewer asked Terence Crawford, you know, we know that you want these big fights, you're hoping to get these big fights made and so forth, but you know, there's the theory of across the street. And Terence Crawford cut him off, and he said there is no across the street. There's no such thing as across the street. What happened to the olden days? Back in the day, there was no across the street. The best fighters fought the best fighters. Or if you wanted to fight somebody, you know what I mean? You made the promoters make it happen. But you know, in today's boxing, it seems to be, people seem to be more fans of the promotional companies than of the actual fighter. Sorry, let me adjust my camera, which I cannot, which I can't really understand. You have guys, you have media, actual media outlets in growing YouTube channels that are actually defending this across the street narrative. If you're a boxing fan and you truly, you know, care about boxing and seeing the best fights, why would you care which company the fighter, what promotional company the fighter is signed to? I'm just saying, as a boxing fan, right? What difference does it make to you what promotional company the fighter is signed to? I'm just saying. So we have YouTubers and other members of the media that are out here, and they're actually defending you know, the people who say you know, the fight can't happen because he's signed to another promotional organization. You have people actually defending this, and you have people saying, well, no, if Terence Crawford wanted the big fights, then he should have signed to PBC, or he should have signed to an organization, a company that had more more credible welterweights. To me, that is preposterous. That is preposterous. That you have you have people defending the fact that, oh no, they can't fight because he's across the street and Terence Crawford should have signed to PBC. Now, the one question that I have for everyone, because you, like I said, you have people that are fans of PBC, or you have people that are fans of DAZN, or people that are fans of ESPN. But for the people that are fans of PBC, right? Why in the world should Terence Crawford go to PBC and look for these fights when these guys at PBC don't even want to fight each other? How long have we been waiting for Errol Spence and Keith Thurman? Well, we still haven't seen that. Well, how long have we been waiting for Errol Spence and Sean Porter, or Errol Spence and any of these guys? And finally, we're getting Errol Spence versus Sean Porter, and Keith Thurman is still saying he's not fighting Errol Spence. So my question is, to the guys that love PBC, why should Terence Crawford sign to PBC if the welterweights and PBC are not even fighting each other? So I suppose that Terence Crawford is just gonna go and sign with sign with PBC, and then all of a sudden, all the PBC fighters are gonna say, yeah, we want to fight Errol Spence because he's PBC now. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Right? I highly doubt that. That if Errol Spence, not Errol Spence, if Terence Crawford, if he goes out on a limb and he says, all right, forget it, I'm not signing back with Top Rank, I'm signing over with PBC, right? How are we so sure that Terence Crawford is gonna get those fights because he signed to PBC? He might end up waiting another 3 years. Because you're gonna have Keith Thurman saying that he's not fighting anyone because he just fought Manny Pacquiao, so he needs another year off, right? And then you're gonna have Sean Porter, whether he wins or loses, saying, oh, he just fought Errol Spence, so he doesn't want none of Terence Crawford. And then you're gonna have Errol Spence saying, well, he just fought Sean Porter, so he needs an easy fight now. If Terence Crawford goes and signs with PBC, he may not still even see any of those fights for another 2 years. So my question to you guys that love PBC is, how sure are you that if Terence Bud Crawford goes and signs with PBC, that he's gonna get those fights? When the PBC fighters, they don't even want to fight Errol Spence. They've been ducking Errol Spence for years. So just because Terence Crawford goes and signs with PBC, I guess all of them are going to start jumping for joy and say, we want to fight Bud now, because he's on this side of the street. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, we know that boxing politics is a real thing. We know that boxing politics exists. But when you're saying that a fight can't be made because two guys are on the opposite sides of the street, that is ducking, and that is a crutch to lean on, because I really don't know why you wouldn't want to see your fighter fight the next guy to make his claim in greatness. Like, I don't understand it as a boxing fan. But you rather say, oh no, Terence Crawford can't get these fights because he's on the other side of the street. If you're in the stream, smash the like button. Don't just be creeping and lurking. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Don't just be creeping and lurking, right? Why would Terence Crawford, I'm just saying, somebody explain it to me logically. Why should Terence Crawford go and sign to PBC when the guys at PBC, the welterweights at PBC, don't even want to fight each other? We're not getting the fights that we want to see at PBC between the PBC welterweights. So why would he go sign with PBC? All he's going to be doing is sitting there in an even more frustrating situation, because now he's going to be like Gary Russell Jr. He's going to be a part of the company, but still can't get the fights that he wants. So now he's going to be in an even more frustrating situation, because he's going to be on that side of the street but still not getting the fights that he wants. Somebody explain to me how that makes sense, and explain to me more how it makes sense as a boxing fan. How are you really taking up that side that's saying, oh yeah, well, Terence Crawford, he can't fight Bud because he's not signed to PBC, and he should have signed with PBC if he wanted to get these fights? Why? If that's the case, then PBC, just like how they're not acknowledging the WBO as a legit title now, well, then they don't need to acknowledge the rest of boxing. Just acknowledge the PBC. And I did an article, I did a video on that a couple months ago, where it was like the owner from the UFC was trying to buy PBC, and that's exactly the kind of organization they were going to make it. Like PBC was just going to be PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, by itself. They were just going to have its own league of boxers, and they're just going to fight within their company, like the UFC and like Bellator and all those guys, because all of that is professional mixed martial arts. But of course the UFC monopolizes the game, you know what I mean? It's the biggest company, but those other companies, Bellator and so forth, those are still professional MMA. It's just that they're their own separate organizations. So if PBC is going to keep saying, well, this guy's across the street, this guy's across the street, then they might as well just separate their organization from boxing and just have their own organization. That would make more sense, because it doesn't make sense saying he's on the other side of the street when we see cross promotional events constantly. Listen to me. Almost every boxing event, whether you know it or not, is a cross promotional event. All right. I was watching a fight the other day, and someone says, well, why is Sam Watson there? Why is Sam Watson there? I believe it was when Anthony Joshua fought Andy Ruiz. Why is Sam Watson there? Well, the reason that Sam Watson is there is because Andy Ruiz is a PBC fighter, right? So how is it that you can all of a sudden make Andy Ruiz against Anthony Joshua PBC versus the Zone, but you can't make Wilder versus Joshua, you can't make Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford? It's like, it's all contradictory, man. It's all contradictory, and to me it doesn't make sense. And what a grand time, right? What a grand time, right? What a grand time for PBC to stop recognizing the WBO, right? What a grand time for PBC to stop recognizing the WBO. Who's the WBO welterweight champion? Terence Bud Crawford. So, what a grand and convenient time for the WBO to stop, for PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, to stop recognizing the WBO. Because they came out and said that last week now. They're not recognizing the WBO as a legitimate champion anymore. PBC said it. PBC said it. PBC said they are no longer acknowledging the WBO as a legit boxing as a legit boxing organization world champion, which is, I mean, the WBO, they really just came back into play, because when Lennox was undisputed, he didn't have the WBO. He was undisputed with the 3 belts, the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF. He didn't have the WBO. So the WBO just recently came back into play. Y'all hearing the sweet sounds of this rain, man. This rain is coming down. We needed it. Sweet sounds of the rain. Shout out to Killer Kill, just said good video, sad content. Yeah, Carlos Balderman out there abusing his daughter and stuff. Got 18 years, too bad for that guy. But anyway, Terence Bud Crawford, he said there is no sides to the street, man. There's only one street, and the name of the street is boxing. Hey, Bud Crawford, I gotta agree. I agree with Bud Crawford. I agree with Bud Crawford. I completely agree with Bud Crawford. Show you how this rain is getting down right now. I completely agree with Bud Crawford. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring, baby. I completely agree with with Terence Bud Crawford saying there is no side of the street. The name of the street is boxing, man. I gotta agree with him. I gotta agree with Terence Bud Crawford, man. There is no sides of the street. I absolutely agree with Terence Crawford, man. We can't keep using that as a crutch. We can't keep using that as a ducking scheme, you know, for fighters not to fight each other, man. And for the simple fact that you got people actually sticking up for the notion and saying, yeah, Bud can't fight Errol Spence because Errol's on the other side of the street. For the simple fact that you have people that on YouTube and regular media saying, yeah, you know, it's true, this fight can't happen because they're on the other side of the street. Back to what I was saying. In case you guys don't realize, all of these big fights that we watch on, whether it's ESPN, whether it's PBC, whether it's The Zone, do you not realize that all of these fights, almost all of these fights, across promotional fights, because there's always a fighter from, you know, from another, let's just say it's a PBC show, right? It's a PBC show, and there's some undercards, right? On the undercard, there's some guy that's signed to The Zone fighting one of PBC's fighters, or there's some guy from ESPN fighting one of the PBC fighters. Now, you may not see Bob Arum there, or you may not see Eddie Hearn there, or you may not see Sam Watson there, but there are other representatives there for the company. Just like when Andy Ruiz fought AJ, it wasn't Leonard Ellaby that was there, you know what I'm saying, or Floyd that was there, but it was Sam Watson. Sam Watson is another representative of PBC. So, and Sam, we just know who Sam is from seeing his face, you know, over the years, you know, and his sons, and then you're like, who is this guy? So you get to figure it out. But all of these events have some type of cross promotional. on the undercard, even if it's a PBC fight, you better believe on the undercard there's a fighter from the Zone fighting, or a fighter from ESPN, or a fighter from some other smaller promotional company. You know what I'm saying? So all of these fights, all of these cards are cross-promotional cards. It has to, because it's boxing. So you either have, let's say if it's a PBC card and there's an undercard, more than likely there will be fighters from either the Zone or Top Rank or another smaller promotional company on the card, because you need fighters. PBC doesn't have all the fighters in the world in every weight class. You know what I'm saying? To be able to put on every fight in every weight class. Neither does ESPN, neither does the Zone. So they have to work with each other. You know what I'm saying? We just see for the big names and whatnot. Law Survivor, salute. We just see for the big names it's just really for the big names. Oh, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, AJ and Deontay Wilder. But there's guys that we don't know of. We don't know their names from the Zone, from PBC, or from anywhere else that fight each other all the time. So I'm saying these cross-promotional events are made all of the time. All the time. They're made all the time. It's just that it's just that it's easier to mask with the smaller fights. Like, nobody cares about it. But nobody stresses that, though. That doesn't even become a conversation. You know, when it's the smaller fighters, right? People could just throw up two names and you'll be like, you know, all right, whatever. But you're not even paying attention to the promotional companies that are backing them. So it's really only with the bigger names that we're getting this this across the street business, and this, oh, it can't happen because they're across the street. It's only with the bigger names. It's only with the bigger names. The smaller names can fight everyone, can fight anyone. Nobody asks what promotional company they're with. Nobody even cares. Nobody even cares. But for some reason, with the bigger names, you know, everybody cares what promotional company they're with. It's the issue. Oh, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Oh no, they can't fight because Terence is with ESPN and Man Down is with PBC. So no, we can't make that fight. Even though they're both champions, like it's and like I said, for the simple fact that you have guys out there that are saying, yeah, that are agreeing with this and promoting this for boxing, that these guys can't fight each other because they're signed to different promotional companies. That's the worst. That is the worst. That is the absolute worst. Yeah, Bob looks confident in his man. Bob said, hold up, Law Survivor. Bob said in the interview that interview with Eddie Hearn, and I'm gonna be doing some videos on that too. Not the interview, but when they were at the post-fight press conference and the media was talking to him. Bob said, I'm confident that Terence Crawford runs through all of those guys. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia. Bob said, I'm confident that Terence Crawford runs through all of those guys. So Bob is confident in his man. Bob is confident in his man. Bob is confident in his man. And I mean, I gotta be honest. Like, I don't think that it's a confidence thing. I don't think that it's a thing that you know, like, I don't want to fight this guy because I'm scared that I'll lose to him. I don't think that it's that. I don't think that any of these fighters, at least none of these guys, I don't think that they think that way. I mean, these guys have been fighting since they were little kids, some of them teenagers. Errol Spence 13, 14. So they've been fighting, you know, for a good while now. I don't think that any of them are physically like scared to fight the other person. I think that it comes down to a matter of these advisors nowadays in boxing. Being an advisor is this big thing. We hear this word all the time, his advisor, his advisor, his advisor. I think that they're just being advised not to take the fights. You know what I mean? I think that when they're coming up the ranks and they get to where they may feel like they're world championship material and people start looking at them, I feel like they have these upper these upper class businessmen and advisors. That's right when they get to that point where they feel like, all right, I could take on anybody in the world, I can be a world champion. I think that they have these advisors that are stopping them and saying, well, no, let's not do this, and let's do this to make more money right now, or to secure, you know what I mean? I think that that's where the issue comes in. I don't think that it's the fighters. I really don't think it's the fighters. I think that once they get to a certain level and promoters see that a certain amount of money can be made off of them, or, you know, people are looking at this fighter this way, or this fighter's making some noise, I think right then they stop them, and they begin the process of not putting them in a position to lose a fight. So which that's the process for when you're building a fighter. When a fighter has his first amateur fight up until his 10th fight, that's the process. You put them in situations where they're not gonna lose, and they can get the work, and they can still, you know, look good. That's the process, you know, like coming up in rank, just like Devin Haney. Devin Haney went to Mexico for his first bunch of fights, built up a nice record, and then right when he got about 13, 14, 15 and 0, then he started coming over here and taking bigger challenges. And now he wants to fight for a world champion. But they might stop him in his tracks too. So I'm saying, once these fighters get right to where when they feel like they're ready to compete for a world champion, and I'm world championship level, I could beat anyone, I think that's when they get these guys, these advisors, start coming in and saying, whoa, we can make a certain amount of money if we do this, and we can make a certain amount of money if we do this without having to fight that guy, and we can put your family and your kids and everyone in a good situation. But they ride that wave for too long, man. These dudes are 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 years old. Your prime only lasts for so long. So you can't ride that wave. You ride it in the beginning of your career, and then you step up to world-class competition, and then you may get some cherry picks here and there, but you can't ride that train for your whole career. You know what I'm saying? These dudes are almost 30. Like in the press conference with Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn, one of the media, he said to Al Heyman, oh, when are you gonna make that fight? Terence Crawford, almost 37 years old. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford, almost 37 years old. And Bob Arum was like, yeah, whatever, but it's true. It's like Tank Davis. You 25, 26 years old, and you still got to fight him sub competition. Like, you can't keep riding that. Your prime only lasts for so long. You know what I'm saying? Your prime doesn't last for 10 years. Unless you're an anomaly like friggin' Manny Pacquiao or Floyd, but that's not everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's an agenda killer. Shout out Killer Kill in the comment section. Exactly how I feel. I don't feel like the fighters, I mean, like I said, these dudes been fighting each other. I don't think that any of them are scared to fight each other. I think that when they get to that certain point where advisors and promoters will be like, oh, this dude could be a household name, let's stop and let's work on him. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I don't even know Lost Survivor. He might have to go fight Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? The thing is like, remember Terence Crawford fought in April, right? Terence Crawford fought Jose Benavidez in April, yeah, and Errol Spence fought Mikey in March. So it's time for Terence Crawford to fight. If Errol Spence got a fight coming up in September, Terence Crawford has a fight due now too. You know what I'm saying? So he might have to go grab Kell Brook. He might have to go grab Kell Brook, or he might just have to take a lesser opponent. Has he fought Louis Collazo yet? Because who was supposed to fight Andre Berto? I know. See, yeah, but they might throw Louis Collazo over there. Andre Berto was supposed to fight Louis Collazo, and he pulled out of injury. He pulled out for injury. So who knows? Maybe you'll see. Maybe we'll see Terence Crawford and Louis Collazo. But he got to get a name soon, because it's almost his time to fight. What you say, Killer? These promoters ride the wave with these fighters, get everything. So Andre Berto just pulled out of the Louis Collazo fight due to an injury. Exactly. Yeah. The promoters ride that wave until they can't get no more use out the fighters, and then they throw them away. But they're not trying to throw them away before they can maximize the money that they get out of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but Jesse Vargas is in talks with fighting. Jesse Vargas about to fight Jaime Munguia. No, Jesse Vargas is signed with the Zone. No, Jesse Vargas signed with the Zone. Jesse Vargas is about to fight Jaime Munguia. I did a video on that earlier. Jesse Vargas and Jaime Munguia are in negotiations. But I think Terence Crawford destroys Jesse Vargas. But I like Jesse Vargas though. Yeah, Jesse Vargas is in. But that's the thing, like, these dudes are talking every day. There's negotiations going on. You know, they could pull Jesse from Jaime Munguia fight and throw him at Terence Crawford, or maybe Louis Collazo. Maybe Louis Collazo, because like I said, Andre Berto just pulled out the fight due to injury, so maybe Louis Collazo. But Terence Crawford, he has to get a fight. He has to get a fight soon though. Like very soon, because he should be fighting no later than October. And Jesse Vargas and Jaime Munguia, I think that's a good. They're both on the Zone. I think that's a pretty good fight. Jaime's young and cock strong, you know what I'm saying? I think that should be a good fight. But back to Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, man, and this across the street crap, man. If you wasn't here at the beginning of the video, pretty much Terence Crawford said there is no across the street. The name of the street is boxing. That's the thumbnail, and I agree. The name of the street is boxing. Like, come on, stop this crap about across the street, across the street, across the street. The name of the street is boxing. And like I said, cross promotional fights are made every single day. Almost all these fights, almost all these fights are cross promotional fights. It could be a PBC card, and on the undercard you got a zone fighter, or you got a fighter that's signed to ESPN. But those aren't big fighters, so they don't talk about it. They don't make a big deal about it. But cross promotional events, all of these events are cross promotional events. All of them. No matter if it's mainly promoted by Mayweather, they're gonna have a fighter in there that's ESPN or that's the zone. It's just the way it is. Like none of those companies have enough fighters to be able to make every fight in every weight class that they wanted to. None of them. None of them. Bob is trying to get the fights though. Bob's trying to get the fights with Terence Crawford. Bob's trying to get the fights. It's just that all Terence Crawford's big fights are over at the PBC. And Bob said he's confident that Terence Crawford goes through all of those guys. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao. Bob said line them up for T-Bud. And T-Bud will take him out. But the PBC not trying to make that fight, man. So that's the thing. On this one, we can't even say it's Bob Arum, because Bob is aggressively calling them out every chance that he gets. He's aggressively calling out Errol Spence and calling out PBC. So like, I feel like on this one we can't even blame Bob. Al Heyman, Al Heyman is advising these dudes to make money and to not put themselves in harm's way. Low risk, high reward. Low risk, high reward. Leonard Ellaby said it the other day when they was interviewing him. Leonard Ellaby said it's a difference between being the best fighter and the biggest superstar. And Ellaby said we're interested in being the biggest superstars. So he said clearly there's a difference between being the best fighters and the best superstar. And Ellaby said we're pushing to make these guys the best superstars. We're pushing to make these guys the best superstars. No, there is no reason why they shouldn't have fought already. From dude. So the other night at the Maurice Hooker fight and Jose Ramirez, both Errol Spence and Terence Crawford were there. Okay, I don't know if you guys realize that. They're both really good friends of Maurice Hooker. So they made sure that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence did not cross paths that night. So I was watching a video and you know, they're rushing Errol Spence out of the stadium and he's getting swarmed, and they're like, oh, you know, look at how the people love Errol Spence and they don't love Terence Crawford. And I'm like, bruh, they're in Dallas. Like, they're in Errol Spence's hometown. Like, if they were in Nebraska, in Terence Crawford's hometown, the same thing would be happening. But they're in Dallas, so what do you expect to happen? And then he goes, oh, how come you know, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence didn't bump into each other? And I said they made sure that they didn't bump into each other. Plus, what was Errol Spence gonna say to Terence Crawford this time? Oh, look, I'm not fighting you. I took the easy road out. I took Sean Porter. Remember I said I could take the easy road? Well, I took the easy road and I took Sean Porter. Like, what was he gonna say to him? You know what I'm saying? They made sure that they didn't cross paths that night. You know what I'm saying? Crawford fought once this year against Jose Benavidez. I believe. No. He fought twice. Jose Benavidez and Amir Khan. So he's fought twice this year, and he should be having one more fight to make it 3 for the year. Yeah, he fought Jose Benavidez and he fought Amir Khan. Jose Benavidez, yeah, that was this year, right? Yeah, because one Amir Khan was in April. Yeah, he fought Jose Benavidez and Amir Khan. But they made sure to not have Errol Spence and Terence Crawford cross paths that night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Amir Khan, he's done. Amir Khan is done. Amir Khan is done. He started calling out Pacquiao because he beat up on a featherweight, Billy Dib. But no, Lost Survivor said earlier in the comments, I mean, I think that they'll make the fight happen when they absolutely have no choice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if the fans and the media keep on pressing for the fight, I think they'll fight each other. Maybe after 2 more fights. So after Errol Spence fights Sean Porter, and then he fights whoever he fights after that, I think that they'll fight after that. So like, yeah, not early 2020, but like maybe mid to late 2020. I think that they'll fight. But yeah, I think that is gonna happen. It's just that they're just squeezing it out too much. Oh, you're right. It is in every division. It's in every division. I mean, all those small guys. Leo Santa Cruz, Tank Davis. What's the other guy that you just mentioned? Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell Jr., Tank Davis, Lomachenko. All of these dudes are just in like 2 and 3 pounds within each other. You know what I'm saying? Gary Russell calling out Tank and calling out everybody for years. PBC not trying to give him his fights. He's calling out Leo Santa Cruz, Tank Davis, everyone. You got Loma calling out Tank. I don't know what they're waiting for with Tank. This dude's gonna be like 30 years old by the time they start putting them in world championship fights, and then it's gonna be too late. I know Leo stayed ducking. I like Leo Santa Cruz though, but they let him. It's because they let him do it. They don't force him to fight anybody. They just want to keep making him fight Abner Mares. And that's what the advisors over there are doing. When it comes to boxing and being a boxing fan, we should absolutely care less about the promotional company. Like I said, boxing's on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm like, what channel is it on? What channel is on? But I know I have a few different channels to look. But I don't care which channel is on. I don't care which channel is on. You know what I'm saying? I just want to watch boxing. I don't give a shit about who's promoted them, and I can care really, really, really less about how much money they're making, because they're all making much more friggin' money than I am, right? So I don't give a shit about how much money they're making, about their promotional company. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see these dudes fight. Like, the promoters are like, more famous than the goddamn boxers now. They're taking up talk time. They're taking up interview time. So that's why you got people out here now like, oh, I'm a fan of this promoter. I don't like Eddie Hearn. I don't like The Zone. Like, so many people, or at least channels that I see, they don't like Eddie Hearn. They don't like The Zone. I love The Zone. I love The Zone. I can't even lie. I love The Zone. I have it. I'm subscribed to The Zone. I subscribed to The Zone when they first came out, when the subscription was, what was it, $5.99 a month or something like that. I subscribed, or $4.99 a month. I subscribe. So I have The Zone, and I like The Zone. I like it a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of interesting stuff. One, they have boxing on a lot on The Zone. Like every Friday night, every Saturday night, there's boxing on The Zone. Whether it's big names or not, or I should say names that you know or not, There's always boxing on the zone, and there's always pretty good fights on the zone too. A lot of those fights turn out to be really good fights on the zone. So I have no issue at all with the zone. I actually enjoy the zone very much. Yes, I actually enjoy the zone very much. I mean, it's it's streaming, so sometimes depending on your Wi-Fi or your connectivity, you know what I mean, the stream may be lagging or something like that. But that's with everything. YouTube lags sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So I can't complain about that. I like the zone. So I don't see what the issue that everyone has, you know what I'm saying, with I don't really care about Bob Arum. I don't really care about Eddie Hearn. Although I do enjoy their interviews, because I don't like talking boxing politics, but I like listening to them talk boxing politics, because they know the frig more than we do about boxing politics. So I don't like talking politics, but I do enjoy listening to those guys talk boxing politics. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy it, because you get a more in-depth look if you can follow them, you know, and if you can follow the conversation, you get a more in-depth look at what's going on inside of boxing. Definitely, Daz. Definitely, the zone has good cards, Killer. Zone definitely has good cards. Never, like I said, I don't have any issue with the zone. I like the zone. The quality of the app itself, the quality of the fights, whether or not it may be a fighter that you know or not. Yeah, the zone has been straight. Have not been disappointed yet by the zone. Killer Kill says. Me neither. I haven't been disappointed by the zone as yet. I have not been disappointed by the zone as yet. The card that they put on the other night with Maurice Hook and Jose Ramirez was really good. It was even nice that they showcased Terence Crawford. Gave Terence Crawford an interview on it, even though he signed to Top Rank. Why? Because that was a co-promotional event. Boxing could be even more lit. Like, we've been getting some good fights, and I'm not disgusted with the state of boxing, because we have been getting some good fights, but we can do better. You know what I'm saying? We can definitely do better. And just think about, like, if you got these cross-promotional events sometime, like, it could be lit. You know what I'm saying? If you got a cross-promotional event between the zone and between PBC, and then, you got PBC fighters interviewing up on the zone, that'll be lit. But, like, these dudes are all fighting over whose dick is longer. They don't want their guy fighting over on the zone, or they don't want Errol Spence or this guy fighting over on the zone. But if it's a smaller dude who doesn't have the name, they don't have no problem with it, because believe me, PBC fighters fight over on the zone all the time. You just not gonna know, because nobody knows that those fighters on the undercard were signed to PBC. You know what I'm saying? Until you see Sam Watson there, or Leonard Ellaby. But most likely for the smaller fighters, it's not going to be Sam or Leonard Ellaby. It'll be someone who's underneath, a representative of PBC who's underneath them. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't get caught up on this side of the street thing, man. It's crazy. Like, that's just a crutch. That's just an excuse. That's just an avenue for a fighter or another promotional company, to duck or to not make things work with another promotional company. Because this is boxing that's been going on for years, hundreds of years. Promotional companies work with other promotional companies to make the fight. You think every boxer is promoted by the same person? It's never been that way. Never. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. But I'll say this though. I'm trying to pull up that comment. Hard to grow boxing as a sport when fans need to have ESPN, Showtime, Fox, DAZN, plus pay-per-view and ESPN. So ESPN and Fox, if I'm not mistaken, ESPN and Fox and PBC, those come with your, not PBC, Fox and ESPN, those come with your cable subscription. Those come with like regular, well maybe not, yeah, they do, with like your regular, yeah, see everything is different from like when I was growing up. Now with like your basic cable subscription, you get, you have Fox and you have ESPN. The thing is a lot of those fights, a lot of the ESPN fights come on ESPN Plus. So you have another app, ESPN Plus, and then you have the Zone. I would say with the apps, like, to me, it's not that big of a deal in today's world, because in today's world, everything is apps. Everything that we do is with apps. For the fact that you have to pay for it, all right, you know what I mean? That could be a problem, but you know, in today's day and age with the black market scamming, if you want to watch a fight that's on a network that you don't have, you could stream it. You can find it streaming live somewhere. And if you can't, turn up your what do I want to call it? I can't think of the word right now. But anyway, I could find anything that I want to find, you know what I'm saying, online. So like I said, in today's time, I don't think that it's that big of a deal. Everything is apps. YouTube app, Instagram, everything that we do nowadays is apps. So I kind of like the Zone and the ESPN Plus. But you know, not that you have to pay for them, but you can kind of get by that, and you can kind of get by that in today's world. Killer says boxing doesn't have to grow as a sport, it's grown. I think he's talking about in terms of mainstream media, in terms of it being as popular as a sport as like basketball or football. Oh, it cooled down now. Alright, turn this to the camera, face the camera out here, man. Cool down a little bit, so. I'm on the work right now. I got a couple more minutes before I go pick up this. But great boxing talk today. I hope that everyone is having a blessed day so far. Make sure y'all hit that like button if y'all have not. Smash the like button. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Super chats are live. Donation links are live in the description of the video. Killer. Hey, you going to the gym today, Killer? You going to the boxing gym today? Killer. Cool down a lot out here. That rain was necessary. Rain was definitely needed. Cool down the vibes. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all smash the like button if y'all have not smashed on that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. Rain cooled it down right now, so it's kind of lovely out right now. Hit the like button if you have not. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. We just finishing up this conversation about the other side of the street. Peace, killer. You going to the gym? Yeah, we just finished having this conversation on you're not going over there today? Right. We just finished having this conversation on the street named boxing. We just saying stop leaning on that excuse, man. Stop leaning on that crush. Word. All right, I'll see you there tomorrow then, killer. But I hope everybody is having a blessed day out there. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'll be back with some more videos, and I'll be back with another live later on. Smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Keep fighting your fight and protect yourself at all times. It's a must.